Hi friends, Kansi here from atop Serenity Hill, and I was getting the urge to play with some vintage photos. It is not something I do very often, actually rarely or ever, but I got a collection of vintage photos as a download from a class that I was taking, and it made me think about using them in, like, they're so um, sepia toned and monotone, but to use them in something that's really bright. Like, this is more my style. If you are watching my channel, you know that. But what would it look like to put these into this? So I'm going to play with that today. This is the second of my No-So Journals junk zines that I made. There's a video below on how I created them, the two of these. There's also videos below on me playing in this one and completing this one using the No-So Journal November prompts. I did about 15 of them, and I might be done. So I kept this handy today just in case I run into a what do I do next kind of thing that while I play in this zine. So it's always nice to have prompts available just in case you need a prompt. There you have it. So, and then again, all the videos to how to make this, how I played with this, that's all below. So the other thing I wanted to do was I wanted to not just print these out. So I don't have the actual photos, so there's not photo paper. I just have a file. I could have printed them on printer paper or even a cardstock to make a more photograph feeling. But what I wanted was more of a translucent, transparent feel to them. So I printed them on deli paper. This slit was after the fact. After I printed it, I'm going to take it off the cardstock. But so I like using deli paper in my printer. And so I just take the deli paper, and I know people do this with tissue paper as well, and wrap it around a piece of cardstock and really tape the bejesus out of it. Okay, so every single piece is scotch taped down so that it doesn't get jammed in your printer. And then when these came out, what I love about it is that the ink was not drying as fast as it was printing, and it was smearing a little, but it actually made the photos even more vintage, which is, delightful to me. I also, when I chose, the file that I have has families, children, male, female, different, race of people, ethnicities. That is a big word. I chose just the females for this journal. That's just a choice I've made because I feel like, playing with that feminine energy today. And then, just chose the ones that I found interesting. As we, know from vintage photos, they usually are not smiling. It wasn't that they were sad. I think the reason they're not smiling is because they have to stand and wait for the photo for so long that holding a smile would be, kind of annoying, I would think. So anyway, so I printed it out on the deli paper, and then I'm just wanted to show you what they look like. So I'm just going to cut it off the cardstock, and that way I can use the cardstock again, so I'm being very gentle. And I can also use whatever's left over for the bits of, whatever doesn't get destroyed with the tape, I can use on a jelly plate. Just take the bits and smack it down on a jelly plate. So you can save that if you want to. So here's what they look like, and this is actually, because this is dark, you'll be able to see, but you can see how you can see how you can see see through them. And so I'm loving the idea of adding them to this journal. That's just really, it's such a different feeling. Oops, not in the camera so good. So we're going to play with that. I also just grabbed stuff. Stickers and bits of paper, and I found these gold metallic rub-on transfers at my local Dollar Tree, which would be actually kind of beautiful against them. So we're going to try that, see how they work. bits of doilies, which kind of felt, doilies are a vintage idea. They're, these are paper doilies. Paper that might kind of speak to the coloring. I don't know. I just picked up a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know what I'm going to use, but that's the joy of just playing and seeing what happens. So I'm going to play in the journal. I'm not going to talk because I just can't always talk and play at the same time. And we'll see how far we get, but I just wanted to share with you, some pages and maybe, one or two of the tags that I made along with this journal, and we'll see what comes out. And so if you are new here, I have a video every week, sometimes twice a week, and some are chatty, many are not, most are not. I do like to talk through what I'm doing, but I also like you to just kind of take inspiration from what I'm doing, not necessarily follow me to a T. It's just more of inspiration for you. And so if you're new, subscribe. I would love that. If you love the video, give it a thumbs up. That would also be helpful. YouTube likes that. They send out our videos to more people when you subscribe, give a thumbs up, and make a comment. It's delightful. And again, make a comment, ask a question. It's all helpful for channels here. And also because this is a community for me, and I would love to hear your thoughts or see what you're doing with your creative practice. And I read and respond to all the comments. So I'm going to play, and then we'll come back at the end. I'll just kind of go over what I did a little bit, and then we will go from there. All right, let's play. So I did 4 sections and learned a few things about my supplies. So we'll talk about that first, and that was that the gold rub-ons don't like it when the paper's still wet. So this was still wet, and you would have seen me struggle with it, and then I ended up using the gold pen over it just to bring a bit of that design back. And so then I tested to make sure they weren't just bad rub-ons, and it worked fine on paper that was not wet. So note to self, wait for everything to dry. So I also went back in, because I was working with, females, female energy, feminine energy. I wanted just some strong statements. When I was done with the 4 pages, I realized I wanted to add some words. And so I grabbed my Tim Holtz, the clipping sticker book, one of my favorites, and started adding just some statements, that spoke to me. Whether they speak to you or not, that's okay, but they spoke to me, they spoke to the images, and I really love how it's coming out. And the thing with working with a background like this is that you don't actually need a whole lot to add to it, because it's a pretty busy background to begin with. So it's just a matter of, adding some extra pieces here and there to tie it all together, or to maybe go with the photo that I'm choosing. So I'll probably just keep playing with it, and when I'm done, maybe I'll do a walkthrough. If you're interested in that, you can let me know below. But just to let you see where I'm going with the vintage, and the sticker does not want to stay down, but I'll add some glue to it, where I decided to go with the vintage photos on my really bright papers. And I really totally am loving this. All right. Thanks everyone for joining me today. Again, if you're not subscribed, please do. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this. A comment. I would love to know what you thought about using the vintage photos, especially on the Deli paper. Have you tried printing on Deli paper? All right, and I will see you all in another video. Thanks, friends.